Alright, so here I am with the final part of this introduction as to who I am, to give a little bit of insight as far as the title of this video, which is The Lioness, the Goddess, the Oracle. As far as the royal bloodline, that gives some insight as far as to the goddess within self. I've also, through the royal bloodline, shed some insight as far as my visions, and visionaries are oracles, which are seers. So far I have shed light on that part of self. The only part so far, is to sum it up, is the lioness part of myself. And that's just because I always considered myself, and I know that I'm a very feminine, real sensitive woman. And on top of that, the goddessness in self and the femininity is that part of self that many are like afraid to understand or tap into, and that's the lioness part of myself. And that's the part of myself who can't stand for injustice, who can't stand for lies, who can't stand for deceit and just pure evil and wickedness to reign. I've always been the type that I always stood my ground. I always considered myself an alpha woman. And with this part of myself that always stood up for what's right and could never bow down to injustice, that's the bloodthirsty part of myself that most people will look at as taboo or scary, because I know that I am a warrior. Some people could look at that and they'll bring up scripture and be like, well, revenge as far as the Lord's, but I know I've never been the turn the other cheek type of woman. Not saying anyone who has ever hurt me I've retaliated or got revenge. It's just I learned how to fight their wickedness with what's right, and I don't let people get over on me, you know. The lioness part of myself, she is the bloodthirsty part of myself. She is who I conjure up when it's time for me to get ready to do battle, you know. That's the part of myself that is fearless, that I know it does come through the bloodline, because, like, through the tribe of Judah, our symbol is lion, you know. So I know, like, as far as the lioness part of myself, she is bloodthirsty, she is fearless, she's very ferocious, she's wild and untamable, and she's the person that I resort to, and it's just not even resort to, it's just naturally in me. Like, some people look at it as wrath or anger, and it could be a combination of all those things. It could be wrath, it could be anger, but whenever I fight, I make sure it's for what's right. And some people, they look at that as far as, let's just say, this dispensation of reality, and they look at how I term it. They may consider it like, oh, she's a gothic black female because of my swag and my aura, and how I probably view that God wouldn't give you no more than you can handle, and how Genghis Khan said, and if he sent me to you, you must have deserved his wrath. And I believe that wholeheartedly, because I strive daily not to wrong people, and I don't have to strive not to wrong people. It's in me. What I strive to do is keep calm. That's another reason why I isolate myself from the world, because there's so much wickedness and injustice. It's very hard for me to stay calm. Like, most people, it's easy for them to stay calm. It's hard for them to pop off. With me, it's the total opposite. It's easy for me when I see something that strikes me to the core that I know that is wrong. It'd be no problem for me to annihilate them or to eliminate the situation. Like, and I know that just something, it's a fire deep within my spirit that it's just certain things, like, I just can't stand for and take. So, and it's crazy because we're not united. And, you know, if we come together and we're united as far as our people, our power be more amplified. But most of the time I know I'll be fighting the war alone, and the same people that I'm standing up for be the same ones that would stop me from acting out or carrying out any drastic measure against the person who's harming them, because deep down inside, I guess they really love them and feel like they were meant to be abused. I really can't explain that part of myself. I've always been the type of person, I always had to consent what was going on with me, no matter what it is, you know. And the lioness within self. She's a woman like that most men, they can't handle that. They can't handle my boldness. They can't handle that I'm the type that I can't be easily tamed or misled, or that I know that I'm my own individual and that the only power you have over me is the power that I give you. And if I've given you an ounce of power, it's because I thought you was deemed worthy of having it. And as soon as I come to realize that you're not worthy of having it, I will never treat them unfairly. I would just, in my perspective of treating them fair, I feel like I will give them what they deserve is due, on the same scale as what they're giving me. You know, I mean, there's been instances, as I could just speak on a situation that's occurred with myself, and it was probably like a week ago, to whereas I was riding with my uncle, and we were pulled over by the police. It was like 1 in the morning. I really didn't have too much on, but I'm the type of woman who just wraps something like, as you see, I got this on right here. How long it is. It comes all the way down to the floor. But I'm the type of woman, as you can see, I could just wrap something around me as a woman and I could just go, especially if it's late. The police pulled us over, and of course they were European, and they were looking, you know, the police officer looked like he had an attraction to me because I left my ID at home, but he was insistent, and I told him, I got to know who you are, I got to know who you is, and we didn't commit a crime, he wasn't speeding, he just pulled us over, and he proceeded to put me in the back of the police car. And I'm like, why are you apprehending me? And he just let it be known. He was like, well, I just need to find out who you are. And I didn't have my identification, so I gave him my name. And he said, oh, well, it's not bringing back anything. You don't look like you. And that's because I didn't have no makeup on. My hair was fully wrapped up in a scarf. I said, I'm a black woman. It's late. You take off my headscarf and let my hair fall down, and you'll probably see that I'm the woman in the picture. And he was like, no, that's not good enough. I'm going to take you downtown. And he told my uncle they were tore away their car. He had insurance, but it was something about the plate. It was his birthday, came up, just expired, or something along the sort. So they was basically go tow the car. They called the tow truck, and I'm in the back seat of the police car. And I bet you not, the lioness within myself manifested with the lioness. The lioness manifested with myself, with the goddess and the oracle. And that's the first time I felt in this dispensation that happened to me, where all three parts of myself was at one. You know what I'm saying? We were all together. And as I was in the back of that cop car, and the cop had whispered in my ear before he closed the door, like, if you are who you say you are when I get you to the station, I'm almost off shift soon. I'll drive you myself wherever you need to go in my vehicle. There's something in my spirit, like, he ain't about to get me. He is not about to get me. What you mean, drive me yourself? Okay, I was furious. A lioness, like I said, combined with the oracle and the goddess. He closed that door. He walked away. I started tapping into myself, like I said, combining my forces. And I won't disclose what I said, but basically it was along the sidelines of my ancestors, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, everything that I am. Stand with me at this moment, and don't let any harm come into me, and don't let me leave this location. When I leave here, I'm going to leave with my uncle. Believe it or not, the car got on a flat tire on the exact same side I was to the back. The police, he looked dazed and confused. As the tow truck came to tow my uncle's car away, guess who needed to tow? The police officer. He couldn't carry me to jail because he had to ride with the tow truck guy as they towed the police car on. The police officer asked me, did you puncture my back tire? Because it was on that side I was, on to the right. I said, how am I puncture your tire and you got me in handcuffs? And you got me with the door closed. How am I puncture your tire? But at that moment, I knew right then that I was a lot stronger when I was grounded, and when the three parts of myself united into one, when the lioness, the goddess, and the oracle manifested together, and I knew harm was about to come to me, and I said the words I said, that tire automatically went flat. He got me out the back of that car, and that European took that ride with the tow truck and with his vehicle and left us there, and we was able to leave peacefully that night. And the people that was there, they was like, that was fate, that was good, that the police officer called told that he didn't take us to jail like he was going to. And I said, It was more than faith. It was the power.